Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a great lineup for you today. Yeah, that's really true. We're going to, this is one of the favorite things I love to do. Before I actually talk about it, let me just say hi to our producers, Mr. Benny Mathers, and we've got Olivia at the helm of the video. So, how we look and what comes up on the video screen, that's Olivia. Benny is pushing all the right buttons, so what we say and how we say it gets communicated crisply and clearly. Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hi, how are you?
You know, I'm feeling the date.
Which date is that?
I'm feeling the 12/21 date. Yeah, this
Okay.
is a big date for a lot of people,
hmm
right? But because I'm like a quadruple Sagittarius, when Jupiter starts to move towards Saturn, it brings a whole new dimension to life.
Isn't it like once you go sad, you never go back or something? There should
Once you
be
go
something.
sad, you never go back.
Triple sad.
You never go back. You can't do that. Except I will say the good news for somebody like me is if you look up in that top right quadrant, I haven't done my solar return yet, so who knows?
hmm
But I have the 4 in Capricorn and 4 in Sag and 4 in Capricorn and my moon in Capricorn. So the reason that I actually show up for a show like this today, we can thank Capricorn for that. The excitement I have about a show like this today, we can just thank all of our listeners for that. Today, we're going to talk about crystal. We're going to talk about crystal oversoul cards and SOUL. And these are attunements for light workers. My very special guest, Michael Eastwood, is joining us here today. And he and I were just chatting before the break. I mean, it's been a while since we've been together. But, sometimes when you do this, all of those years seem like a blip. And so you connect with people on a heart to heart basis. All of you as listeners, we're connecting with you as well. Today, what we're going to do is, and I just got to back off my mic right there. Today, what we're going to do is not just talk about, what Michael has done, but we're going to talk about the timing of this. Whether you're looking at what your life is about, you'll see that I don't think you can see behind me, but almost everywhere you will see some sort of crystal. Whether it's behind me, whether it's over here with this beautiful smoky quartz I have, whether it's over there with the amethyst, they're here. And if you come into my home, you see them. But here's what I want to say, true confession. I'm not sure exactly what they do or why they have called to be in my space and where they want to be, but they have. And so, what happens when you look at this alignment and you have this guiding? What is it that we need to know about what needs to be healed? Because I bet when I talk with Michael about this, he'll probably be able to say something like, there must be, he'll say it with a really cool accent though, there must be a healing a going on. Highly respected crystal healing writer and teacher, practiced for more than 30 years. He has been the chair of chairs of organizations. He has been out there. He understands not just the word crystal, but the energy body of them, the healing potential of them, the history of them, how we have gone generationally through generationally, become better at feeling the sense of them. Today, fasten your seatbelt. We have got Benny, three copies of the deck set of these cards. And we're taking your calls because this is what we got to do. We got to get some help. Michael, it's great to join you. It's great to have you join me here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
So let's start with the most bizarre of bizarre. I'm telling you, I've got crystals here. I've got crystals there. I've got crystals here. I've got crystals throughout my home. And as many interviews as I've done, my knowledge about them very specifically is not where I think most people think it is, but really intuitively, there's a sense of them. Can you talk to the fact that there are so many people that are drawn to crystals and they don't even have to have a why to be drawn to crystals?
Exactly. Well, I suppose there's as many answers to that question as there are people drawn to crystals. People are drawn for multiple reasons, from just the aesthetics, the geology. They've been drawn to crystals since they were children. There's all sorts of reasons. Personally, I feel that the crystal business, if you like, is sort of biggest I've ever seen it in 30 years. It is a booming industry. And have you seen things like Madonna's Instagram feed, where she's there with her crystals and a crystal singing bowl? Then you have Beyonce name dropping, cleaning her crystals under the moon. You've got these major people, and Lizzo, you know, you name it, Miley Cyrus, you know, they're all there with their crystals. So something is going on, something really magical is taking place. And it could be that we're in, of course, extremely uncertain times. And so people are seeking out different certainties, which obviously for some people, crystals are answering that call. There's something mysterious and magical about crystals and their history and their lore. And there's something, not for everyone, but there's something which calls people and draws them in, and that can be their beauty, their energy. You know, it can be multiple reasons, and whatever it is, I always say to people, just go with it. Whatever it is that draws you to them, that is good enough reason. Another reason, then it gives you joy, it gives you pleasure, brings you pleasure in your home, brings pleasure to your body, to your mind. Well, you know, whatever it is, whatever pleasures you, then I'm all for it.
I have to tell you, I'm really struck by the beauty of these. And I'm not sure if Olivia is able to put some of these up, but she certainly has your information to do that. And I'm going to hold them up as we go. I was really struck by the imagery that you projected for each of them. So, you know, sometimes we think or we have an idea of what something's going to look like, right? And then I get these and I'm just stunned by not just the way you portrayed them, but this is my language and I want to ask you about them. They're actually in mandala form, right? Did I get that right? Or
yeah, that's completely right. Yeah.
But they seem to me elevated, energetically elevated from this form. Tell me about that idea to put them together like this.
Shall I share a sample? So
yeah, please.
I have to remember this is reverse. So yeah, so this is Adjuite mandala, and says Lemurian seed crystal, just so people can get an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this is lapis lazuli, and that's aquamarine. For me, mandalas and circles in general represent the universal order. And when I was first drawn to meditation I was probably about 19, 20 or 20, and it had a profound impact on me. And the first experience I had was I saw a mandala form, a circular form that drew me in. And it wasn't until later when I researched what meditation, what it was I was doing, what a mandala, what that form was, that I found out there's an incredibly ancient history of mandalas already in existence. And mandalas or these circular forms are used in all traditions around the world, and within humanity, from Christian stained glass windows to, if you look at those beautiful circular forms you often see, and these repeated images all the way around, they all draw our attention into the center of the circle. So our eyes are sort of enticed by the beauty of the outside, but our attention is drawn ever inwards. So that's why I was drawn to use them.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because when I was a young child, growing up in this sort of interesting spiritual religious diversity from my dad's side of the family, and, you know, Dominican nuns, Catholic, and then my mom's side of the family, this non-denomination, Baptist sort of non-denomination Christian philosophy, all positive, right? And I remember the first time that I was taken, I'm from New York. So I remember the first time we all went down in Manhattan and went into St. Patrick's Cathedral. And as a child, I will tell you that the energetic heart connection from the tapestry and the beauty, right? You know, you're young, maybe you know something about religion, maybe you don't, but the beauty of this place, even to this day, when I walk in, even under construction, and I walk into the cathedral, I just cry.
Yeah.
And it is that visual aspect. And so when I got the cards, I looked at these and I said to Linda, you know, I said, my gosh, there's something about this deck and about the energy and about your book and about what you're writing has been made for the time we're living in right now. And I want to take a short break when we come back. I want to talk about the sensation from them. Of course, you live and breathe this, Michael, right? I mean, like every day.
Yeah.
Look at what you got behind you right there. Come on.
Just a few.
Come on. You know, you live and breathe this. But for people, and people like me and maybe Benny and maybe Olivia and maybe our listeners, for us, there is an activation that happens when we come back. We're going to be pulling some of these cards. We're going to be talking about them. And we're going to talk about the fact, how did Michael plan this, to launch this now? Because he didn't just wake up yesterday and do this. What was it that called him to do it? And how is it that we can use the energy of crystals for whatever ails us, even now? Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back.
All clear? Ready to come back in?
JenRoyster.com for more information.
Soon as I find myself a crystal ball. Soon as I find myself a crystal ball.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm so honored and thrilled to be able to share with you Michael Eastwood. And also, you know, this is the next evolution for me of looking at how we present the energetics of crystals and how we can learn more about the energetics of crystal healing, but also about the soul connection to this. You know, Michael is joining us here today. Very specifically, we have a special deck. We are taking your calls. If you're thinking, what do I want to know? What card can we pull for you? What crystal might talk with you? What might the message be? This is a time, 1-800-930-2819. First 3 callers that call in to have a card pulled, we're also going to give you a deck. And Olivia, you're going to help us with our folks over there on Facebook. Let's talk about this for a minute. And I want to give people a sense of what I call the energetic power of this. You know, when I think about the connection that I've had visually, when I look back at history and especially some of the Egyptian cultures or the Asian cultures, I'm really struck. I'm really struck by how many places crystal show up. And I want to ask you, have we forgotten the essence of crystal healing? And then look at you creating this now. Out of all times you could have done this, you've created this for now. Is there a connection between the ancient healing and what we need to heal now?
Well, it's obviously a difficult thing for me to completely answer, but my own feelings are on it that many of us are here, and I'm just going to presume your viewers and your listeners are familiar with reincarnation. My personal feeling is that many of us are here now with an awareness that we're very multidimensional ancient beings here on purpose, and that the particular time we're in at the moment, say the last 30-year period in particular, is a time when the old Earth is shifting to a new Earth. And this new Earth requires many of us being very conscious of why we're here. So for me, my work with my Crystal Oversoul cards is part of my work, my service, if you like, to a bigger unfolding that is taking place within humanity itself. So crystals for me are one of many paths that people are walking, which is awakening them to their purpose, that we're all here we're all intricately woven into this great awakening that is taking place. And each of us plays our part in that awakening. And we can play that through raising children, for example. It doesn't have to be, we're all on world stage doing that. We're all here to find what it is that most serves our greatest potential. And for me, my work with crystals has always played a very big role in that. Crystals have been part of my journey for 30 years and have looked after me for 30 years. They've made me into who I am. And I'm thrilled to sort of play my part within that. And my work is, hopefully through my work, is helping other people to find out what it is they're here to awaken within others.
Part of this too is what I love about this and talking to you, Michael, is, and I'm looking down at the book at the moment. And, one of the things I'm really struck by is how often there are no, how should I say it, wrong answers, mispull cards, whatever you want to call it. you know, whatever it is, why do some things draw us closer? And what is it that's called to be healed? So when I was reading your book, you know, what I love is I love the way you describe the energy, right? Like when you talk about, for example, smoky quartz. Let me just talk about that for a minute. You know, why am I talking about smoky quartz? Because I have one over here, and I recently, and I'll have to get up and get it. I recently moved it. It was on a different shelf, and some reason I dropped it down, right? Because now when I turn to look, it's like super eye level for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I guess it didn't want to be up. I don't know. I don't really have an answer.
But
But
on some level, it's communicating to you
yes, yeah.
something. The fact that you're reacting and moving it and engaging with it visually it's communicating to you.
Hold on one sec. I wanted to just get it in here for a minute, right? Because, right?
It's very nice. Key. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we think about it and we feel it. So I started to read this, right? And what I loved about what you have here and the way you walk us through this, you tell us the chakra, right? The element, right? And then, you know, for a grid, I want you to talk to me about this because this is going to be helpful to explain to people. Then you say for a grid, 6 points, and then you say scent and moon phase. And so I started to read this and I said, wow, smoky quartz is a master crystal. Tell us about what a master crystal is, because I don't think many people even know about master crystals. But I love this, and I love the way you walk us through. Tell us about this, because I joke about this a lot. I talk about the fact that I got these 4 planets in Sagittarius, and I also have these 4 planets in my moon in Capricorn. So when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, no mistake, it's talking to me. Tell us about smoky quartz from your perspective, if you could.
Well, master crystals are there's something quite sort of serious about them. They have a certain presence that comes with them, and they are master teachers in the sense that when we engage with them, they're quite clear in the way they communicate with us, like yours has with you. It's communicated that it wasn't happy where it was, and it wanted to engage with you in another way. So master crystals have like an elevated presence. And my work is very much about, although I talk about smoky quartz, and that covers the piece you have there with you, my work is about the oversoul of, for example, smoky quartz and each of the 66 crystals I talk about. And the oversoul is the overlighting consciousness of all smoky quartz. In the way that I suppose my work is saying, you know, it's great if you have a piece of smoky quartz, but you can connect with the presence, the soul, if you like, of all smoky quartz through the meditations I offer, through the mandala I offer. So if you have the crystal, that's great, but you don't need the crystal. You can go directly to the source of smoky quartz, for example. And smoky quartz in itself is a very grounding presence, a very earthy, positive. It encourages to put our feet on the earth and take notice of just the steps that we're taking, and to ground what we're thinking about, or our creative pursuits, for example, to ground it into action, to dream. I mean, there are stones there about dreaming, but to take our dreams and materialize them, manifest them, and to try and explore what it is within us which is resisting that becoming grounded. What is it within us which, because a lot of my work encourages people to explore their resistance, So, for example, somebody might dream about writing a book, for example, or making an oracle card set. This is where something like smoky quartz comes in, because it's like, okay, you want this to happen. There are certain grounded steps you will need to take. I mean, I know people who say, you know, oh, I've got a book I'm working on. I go, oh, great, where is it? And they go, well, I'm thinking about it. And I go, well, that's great, and it can stay like that if you like. But if you want to publish it, there are certain grounded steps you will need to take. And some people can't take those steps. It's easier to dream about it and talk about it than it is to actually. I mean, I tell you, doing something like this is hard work. It is. I had a lot of personal resistance doing it, and I was confronted by that resistance, and I pushed through that resistance as well. And to make something material, that's where smoky quartz really comes in, because it's like, okay, if you want this material, you're going to have to face some resistances, where you know, there can be the resistance of, I don't believe I can do this, I don't deserve it, you know, all those things, or just the tenacity to stick with something until it's
Right.
materialized. You know, and
So
that's where,
interesting. Well, look, it's so interesting we're talking about this. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we are taking your calls. Would you like to receive a deck, one of these beautiful, beautiful deck of cards, and the book? Because the book is just amazing what it says. When we come back, we're going to talk about how this is sort of an interesting energy, and what was it about 11/11 this year that literally activated so much in so many people? What started to shift, and why is it shifting more as we move forward? Do you have a favorite crystal? Do you maybe have a crystal and you don't know the name? I actually have two of them. I have no idea what they are. I know what they look like. They're beautiful. It's a little geode. It was cracked open. It's just beautiful light blue. They're just gorgeous. And I don't really know the name, but I keep them very close. Let's take a short break. When we come back, more with Michael Eastwood. We're going to tell you how to get a deck of cards, that and much more. We'll be right back.
All clear. Ready to come back? Sorry.
Ain't it beautiful? Ooh, crystal blue persuasion.
Not sure they were talking about crystals in that song, folks. I'm just saying right
A
there.
form of
that's
crystals, perhaps.
Yeah, they were talking. They were like talking about a form of them, Benny, right there. I'm so like, oh my God. Can you see me like back in the day with long brown hair?
I can. Yeah.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
With the leather headband.
And did you drop?
I did.
Good.
I actually think, first of all, I could get rolling on this, Michael. Boy, I'll tell you, Benny's speechless. Benny's like, what is she going to say next? For those of you just tuning in, we have opened up the phone lines. If you would like to have Michael pull a card and talk about the crystal healing that's available to you through this beautiful deck, 1-800-930-2819. We'd love to hear from you. And also give you a deck of cards. Michael, what is the best way for people to find out about you, your work, your books, all of the above?
Probably my favorite way is Instagram. And if they just look up Michael_Eastwood_ and go on my Instagram account. And that's how I engage with people who like my work and my crystals and my life and my thoughts. And although I am on Facebook and people are welcome to contact me, I don't do a great deal on there. It's mainly Instagram. I just love the sort of instant warmth that comes from engaging with Instagram. And the other way, of course, is through my website, which is aristia.co.uk, and Aristia is spelled ARISTIA.co.uk. See www, but that goes without saying, really. And that's Aristia is where my website where I sell all my crystals, and people can get my decks from there. But also in the States, probably Barnes and Nobles and Amazon have my cards as well. And obviously just look up Crystal Oversoul cards and there I be.
It's really kind of cool. I mean, so right now I talked about 2 crystals I have, right?
Yeah.
So now I've read your book. I've looked at the cards. I've shuffled them. I've worked with them here since I've gotten them. Talked about 2 crystals. Isn't that interesting? One we just talked about and I brought it here. The other one I talked about this blue, light blue. So what I believe it is this.
Celestite. I thought
Right?
it might be that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually have the geode and it's split, right? Yeah. It's split. And then I started to read about this and I thought, okay, let's talk about this, because if you're going to be grounded and you're going to have to do what that smoky quartz wants you to do, then what would be like a partner, right?
Mhm.
What would be your partner that might jump in? And so out of all the crystals I have, I thought about these 2. And so I read about this, and then we're going to go to the phones. We got folks calling in. And so now I'm reading about this and about spiritual knowing. How is it these 2 want to work together? Tell us about this particular crystal, because I believe this is the one that I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And they were very close on a shelf. And then I took the smoky quartz and I brought it in here, but I didn't bring the other.
Well, I would interpret that as Celestite reminds us that we are vast spiritual beings having a human experience. And so on one hand, you have the Celestite energy encouraging you to dream big and to stay open to your higher dialogue. And Smoky Quartz says, well, that's all well and good, but that energy doesn't write a book, for example, or doesn't get something, or doesn't do, the grounded. So you have this sort of high energy of celestite and the smoky quartz. It's an ideal partnership, because one keeps you expanded and in sort of plugged into the cosmos, and smoky quartz says, okay, but keep your feet on the ground and commit to, say for example, if you were writing a book or something, smoky quartz would say, okay, that's all inspired and lovely and very high energy, but this book won't write itself. It needs you to sit in front of a computer or a pen and pencil and write these words and start and stick to it and commit to it and follow it through. So that's how I see those two energies working together. Very good companions.
Yeah, I'm taking a smoky quartz. I'm taking it right back home, and I'm not going to separate these two again. We've got a great caller calling in today. Let's go to the phones. Benny, and who do we have?
It's Jude calling in from Chicago. Hi, Jude.
Hey, Jude.
Hi. Hey, Jude.
Come on, you haven't heard that one before. Come on.
Well, I said it, and then I thought, oh, I can't take that back. But it was like right there,
No.
Jude. Sorry for that.
There you go. No, thank you. I'm so excited I was meant to be put through today. Yes, I'd like Michael, if he could, to pull a card for me.
Okay. And then if you stay on the line, we'd like to get your address and send you a deck. Okay?
Oh, that would be so wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Let's hear what Michael has to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, hello, Jude.
Hello.
I've the card that's come out for you is Moldavite. And would you like me to give a brief interpretation of that?
Yes. Yeah. I wonder, Jude,
Absolutely.
I don't know. Sometimes you have a question, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't want to share it, but I get a sense that there's a little bit of a question. So let's hear what Michael has to say, see if it fits.
Yeah, I prefer not to have
right.
background.
That's why I said there's usually something underneath.
Yeah. So Moldavite normally comes into our life. It's like the green light. So it's like you've been waiting for something, and it's like been sat at the traffic lights. I don't know about where you are, but in England we have red, amber, and green lights.
Right.
And so if I use that, obviously that's what I'm familiar with. But Moldavite, it comes into our life when we've been waiting, and the energy of Moldavite says, just go. You've been waiting, now the light's green, but why are you still waiting? Yeah, so whatever's open that you've been waiting to open is open, and you just need to put your foot on the accelerator and go in that direction.
Okay. It's spot on about a couple of different things in my life. I'm an energy healer, but I've been called to mediumship as of late. And so I think that provides validation, and also a lot of other changes in my life, a move. My husband's waiting for a kidney transplant, and things are starting to move there. But yeah, spot on, and it's comforting too.
I would say, really, if you can, I don't know if you have any metaphysical stores around where you are, but seek out some Moldavite, and perhaps a piece for your husband as well. It's an energy which is very transformational, and it's one of those my nearly sort of permanent go-to stones, and I have two that I often keep, one in either pocket, and its energy is that often says, you know, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot around you. And sometimes, you know, we can get in our head and think, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to action that, where to go, how to make that happen, to find the time for this or whatever. And Moldavite says, or encourages us to just keep moving forward, just keep our foot on the accelerator and head into the sunset, and don't overthink the details. It's not a time for focusing on the details. That opportunities will come suddenly, and don't, when they come, it's like you've been waiting for them, for the opportunities, and then when they come, our tendency is to go, well, is this the right one? Is this the right time? How do I do that? But Moldavite says, just go in that direction. Don't worry about the details of the time. It's not time to focus on the details. It's a time to just go for it.
Go.
Yeah, I was reading in the book about this where you say take a leap.
Yeah,
Right, something like that. It's a leap
of faith. Yeah,
it's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's exciting, Jude. Right.
It is so exciting. It is. One of my favorite slogans is "Jump and the net will be there."
Yeah.
So,
yes.
It's especially comforting now.
I'm a skydiver, so I'm all about jumping.
It's very the energy of Moldavite is very Thelma and Louise, but you don't go off the cliff. It's it's you just sort of like you and your husband in that sports car going into the sunset, and it's like the world is your oyster. Everything is just waiting to serve and look after you, and it's not a time of waiting anymore. It's a time to just go. Let's go for it.
Oh,
yeah.
So
the burning
lovely.
question
Thank you so much.
The burning question for you is this: is the sports car a Lamborghini, or is it a Lotus?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's a Porsche.
Yes.
And my husband bought his dream car when he was diagnosed with cancer 33 years ago. And he's survived. He's a walking miracle. He's survived so many different things.
Yeah.
This kidney thing is just the next thing.
Man, this is perfect for you.
He's a warrior, and so it is perfect.
Yeah.
And so are you. And look, I want you to have a great holiday, but please stay on the line so Benny can get some information from you if you don't mind.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me to hear those words.
Man, I'm telling you, it's your time. I want to just tell everybody, if you're just tuning in, this is fabulous what Michael has created. Again, what Michael has created. I keep saying I bent the cover on the book because I actually read the books. And so, Michael, I'm going to skip the break. And what I'd love to be able to do is, again, let people know how they could work with you, how they can find out more, and how they can get their own deck, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. No.
So just go ahead and tell folks if you could, Michael.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were going to do a break.
I'm skipping a break. We're going to keep rolling. I mean, okay, I'm in the sports car right there.
So what was the question? Where to get them from? Okay, so you can get them from Barnes & Noble, Amazon, but I'd really encourage people, if their metaphysical bookstore is open, support your local metaphysical bookstore as much as possible. I'm guessing your local in the States or wherever in the world you're listening to this to. It goes without saying that obviously we're in times where lots of stores are really struggling to come through different. I mean, in the UK, we're into our second lockdown, and we're just coming out of it next week. So my metaphysical bookstore has been closed for a month during this lockdown, but we open again next Wednesday. And but that's the second lockdown we've experienced this year. So we had one in March for 3 months we had to close. So I'm guessing in the States, state by state, you're going to have different lockdowns taking place. I know California has just gone into a lockdown, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
we have a new administration, and I think, I think once that administration, we have a new president and vice president, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And I think you're going to start to see some things here, maybe not a complete national lockdown, but we'll see more guidance from a national perspective. So we're waiting to hear that. Thank you for that. And by the way, we've got a Jerseyite asking, can Michael please, if you don't mind, can Michael please pull one of his fantastic cards for me? And then, yeah.
What's the name of the person?
The name of the person is LJ.
LJ.
And then we have Cynthia on as well. So we'll get LJ first.
Does
LJ from NJ.
Okay. Where's NJ?
New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Sorry. Okay, LJ. I get the card Malachite for you.
Malachite. All right. And what number is Malachite?
Number 3.
Nice.
Do you want to interpretation, LJ, or just a card picked?
Yeah, just said pull a card. What's the message? What's the meaning? So didn't have a question from them.
Okay. Malachite is again a very grounding, has a very grounding, nurturing, reassuring presence. Yes, it's one of those stones because it has a lot of copper in malachite, so it has this Venusian energy to it. So it's overseen by Venus, and so it's a very loving, supporting energy. And it might be coming to you, or I might have chosen that card for you at the time, that that's the sort of energy you can draw upon in this time that you might require, or you might want to lean into that energy and learn about self-care, nurturing, looking after yourself. And one of the main messages of Malachite is the earth is a safe place. And that's quite a simple statement, but often a very powerful statement, because I think a lot of people in this time, particularly, the world is in such upheaval and turmoil, and there's so many big questions about how we move forward with climate change, with water emergency. We're posed with enormous questions for us personally, let alone collectively as well. And how do we deal with this global crisis we're in? So one could be tempted to say, well, especially very sensitive, crystal, spiritual people tend to feel, the earth's quite an unsafe place to be. Whereas Malachite says, it is a safe place to be. It's a safe place for you. You deserve space here. That we all have space here, and it's up to us to unfold into that space. That the earth is here to nurture our ideas and our qualities, and it is only unsafe if we look at it that way. So Malachite asks us to sort of flip our attitude and to experience and feel in our being that we're safe here and that we're wanted here as well, that we're important.
That's powerful. I was reading about this earlier today, and I was reading this from your book. Working with Malachite helps us realize that we have the right to take our space in the world. It's a powerful healing ally, helping us to understand control issues. Its message is trust yourself and life. Leave room for the unknown and unexpected.
Yeah.
Amen to that, brother. Oh, Michael, thank you so much for today. We may have time for one more caller and just pull a card for her. Benny, let's bring on Cynthia if we could.
Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Come on, Cynthia.
Hello.
We'll just get you a card real quick here.
Come on down,
Thank you
Cynthia.
so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, Cynthia, can't hear you. Can you say that one more time?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Yeah, any card. Just give
Coming
me
right
some-
up.
Okay.
Thank
I
you
go
so
straight.
much.
I go straight to the card Garnet, card number 36. And Garnet reminds us that we have the divine life force flowing through our system, that we have divinity literally within our blood. And that energy can transform and seek to inspire us and awaken us and give us the feeling of connectedness to, or interconnectedness to the divine itself. But it's right in our blood, it's right in our system, and it courses through our veins, that divine spark.
Wow. Got that, Cynthia?
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to wear my garnet earrings today.
Yay! And just remember, the divine courses through your blood and seeks to, and Garnet seeks to enliven our energy and just say we're vibrantly alive, and we're made in a vibrant image that wants us to vibrantly interact with the world.
I'm telling you, that is a message for all of us. Cynthia, thank you so much. Michael, thank you so much. Again, please remind us how we can get a deck of these beautiful, beautiful cards, and also how people can find out more about you. And thank you so much for getting up and staying up and being with us here today. Send folks over to your website. These cards are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you can come to me via Instagram, Michael_Eastwood_. And that's my preferred way of corresponding with people. My website is Aristia, aristia.co.uk. And, or you could just search Aristia.com, come up there as well. And my cards, you can, try and support your local bookstore, your local metaphysical store. If they're in closed due to COVID, then I'm sure they're doing click and collect, which is what we've been doing. And but if you have to, and if that's your only means, then Amazon, Barnes and Noble, the usual outlets, and just look for Crystal Oversoul cards, and there I be.
Well, I have to tell you, I want to thank you for today. So there are a couple of takeaways for me I want to leave you with and everybody with. I looked up a couple of things. One is my day of birth, the 11, and I've never heard of that crystal before. So I'm going to spend some time with that. And then I looked up my best friend's birthday. Both of us have birthday numbers that we've had throughout our lives. It's on all of our sports jerseys. Mine's 11, hers is 18. And these are two crystals I had not heard before. Vivianite and dioptase. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be spending some time with this, and especially the meaning. Thank you so much, Mike.